It was a typical Monday morning in Manhattan. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden hue over the iconic skyline. The city was waking up, and the streets were starting to fill with the usual hustle and bustle. People were commuting to work, their faces a mix of determination and fatigue as they navigated the crowded subway stations and busy sidewalks. The air was filled with the sounds of honking cars, chattering pedestrians, and the distant hum of construction. Tourists were exploring the city, their cameras clicking away as they captured memories of Times Square, Central Park, and other famous landmarks. They marveled at the towering skyscrapers and the vibrant energy that seemed to pulse through every street. The streets were bustling with activity. Delivery trucks were unloading goods, street vendors were setting up their stalls, and cyclists were weaving through the traffic. It was a scene of organized chaos, a testament to the city's relentless pace. But the usual rhythm of the city was shattered by a series of violent attacks. The air grew tense as news spread of the incidents, and the once lively streets took on an eerie silence. 3 people were stabbed in separate incidents across Manhattan. The attacks were sudden and brutal, leaving the victims in critical condition and the community in shock. The attacks began in Chelsea, a neighborhood known for its art galleries and vibrant nightlife. The first victim was a young woman on her way to work, attacked without warning. Then, the violence moved to Kips Bay, a quieter residential area. Here, a middle-aged man was targeted while walking his dog, adding to the growing fear and confusion. Finally, the spree ended in Midtown East, a bustling commercial district. The last victim, a young professional, was attacked just steps away from his office building, sending waves of panic through the business community. The NYPD responded quickly, apprehending the suspect at 46th Street and First Avenue. The swift action of the officers brought a sense of relief, but the city remained on edge. The suspect was identified as Ramon Rivera, a man with a troubled past and a history of violent behavior. His arrest raised many questions about his motives and the events leading up to the attacks. Police believe Rivera acted alone in these seemingly random attacks. They held a press conference to address the public's concerns, assuring them that the situation was under control and that there was no further threat. The motive for the stabbings remains unclear. Investigators are working tirelessly to piece together Rivera's actions and uncover any possible connections between the victims. The city, though shaken, stands resilient, determined to move forward and heal from this morning of violence. The first victim was a 30-year-old construction worker. He was attacked outside his job site in Chelsea. He was rushed to Bellevue Hospital but sadly died from his injuries. The second victim was a 68-year-old man. He was enjoying a morning of fishing near the water club in Kips Bay when he was attacked. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The third victim was a 36-year-old woman. She was attacked in Midtown East and tragically passed away from her injuries later that evening. The entire city mourns with the families of these innocent victims. Following the arrest, authorities revealed that Ramon Rivera has a history of mental health issues. He also has a lengthy criminal record, including arrests in New York City, Ohio, and Florida. Rivera's history raises serious questions about the system's ability to address mental health needs and prevent repeat offenses. It appears that warning signs were missed, and opportunities for intervention may have been overlooked. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is currently reviewing Rivera's previous cases to determine if any prior interactions with law enforcement or the justice system could have prevented this tragedy. New York City Mayor Eric Adams addressed the media following the arrest. The atmosphere was tense as reporters gathered to hear his response to the recent tragic events that have shaken the city. Mayor Adams, known for his straightforward and passionate approach, did not hold back in expressing his feelings. He expressed his outrage and sorrow over the senseless loss of life. His voice trembled slightly as he spoke about the victims and their families, emphasizing the deep pain and suffering that such incidents cause within the community. The mayor's emotional response highlighted the gravity of the situation and the urgent need for action. Mayor Adams vowed to hold those responsible accountable. He made it clear that the city would not rest until justice was served. His determination was evident as he outlined the steps that would be taken to ensure that those who commit such heinous acts are brought to justice swiftly and effectively. Mayor Adams also voiced concerns about the city's mental health system. He pointed out the glaring deficiencies and the urgent need for reform. The mayor stressed that mental health issues are often at the root of such violent incidents and that addressing these issues is crucial for preventing future tragedies. He questioned why Ramon Rivera was on the streets despite his history. Mayor Adams demanded answers from the relevant authorities, questioning the policies and procedures that allowed a person with a known history of mental health issues and violent behavior to remain free. His questions underscored the need for a thorough review of the current system. This is a failure at multiple levels, Mayor Adams stated. He criticized the systemic failures that contributed to the tragedy, calling for accountability at every level of government and public service. The mayor's strong words were a call to action for all stakeholders to work together to address the root causes of such incidents. He promised a full investigation into the circumstances leading up to the attacks. Mayor Adams assured the public that no stone would be left unturned in the quest for answers. He emphasized the importance of understanding what went wrong and taking corrective measures to prevent similar incidents in the future. Mayor Adams emphasized the need for a more comprehensive approach to mental health care and public safety in the city. He called for a collaborative effort involving mental health professionals, law enforcement, community leaders, and policymakers. The mayor highlighted the importance of a holistic approach that addresses both the immediate and underlying issues, ensuring a safer and healthier community for all residents. Ramon Rivera's arrest record paints a disturbing picture of escalating criminal behavior. In the past year alone, he was arrested 8 times in New York City. His charges ranged from burglary and assault to grand larceny. Rivera cycled through the system, often being released back onto the streets shortly after an arrest. This pattern of arrest and release raises concerns about the effectiveness of current bail reform measures. It also highlights the challenges of managing repeat offenders with mental health needs. The tragic events in Manhattan have sparked a debate about the justice system's role in protecting the public. Some argue that the system is too lenient on repeat offenders like Ramon Rivera. Others point to a lack of resources for mental health treatment and support services. Without adequate intervention, individuals with mental health issues are at increased risk of becoming both victims and perpetrators of crime. The case has ignited calls for a comprehensive review of the city's approach to mental health care, bail reform, and public safety. The NYPD is conducting a thorough investigation into the Manhattan stabbing spree. This tragic event has left the community in shock and fear, and the police are determined to bring the perpetrator to justice. The investigation is multifaceted, involving various departments and experts to ensure no stone is left unturned. Detectives are reviewing surveillance footage, interviewing witnesses, and gathering as much information as possible. They are meticulously going through hours of video, hoping to find any clue that might lead them to the suspect. Witnesses are being questioned to piece together the events leading up to the attacks, and piecing together a timeline of events. This timeline is crucial as it helps the detectives understand the sequence of events and identify any patterns or anomalies. The evidence collected is being analyzed by forensic experts to find any traces that could point to the attacker. They are working to determine if there were any missed warning signs or opportunities to intervene before the attacks occurred. The investigation is ongoing and the detectives are under immense pressure to solve the case quickly. The community is anxious, and the police are doing everything in their power to provide answers and ensure public safety, and authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. Public cooperation is vital in such cases, and the police are hopeful that someone might have seen or heard something that could be crucial to the investigation. The NYPD spokesperson has made several public appeals, emphasizing the importance of community involvement. The investigation will also examine whether the attacks were random or if there was a specific motive. Understanding the motive is essential as it can provide insights into the attacker's mindset and help in predicting and preventing future incidents. The detectives are exploring all possible angles, including personal grudges, mental health issues, and any connections to previous crimes. Understanding the reasons behind these senseless acts of violence is crucial in preventing similar tragedies from occurring in the future. The NYPD is committed to not only solving this case but also implementing measures to enhance public safety and prevent such incidents.